Hello, everybody. I'm Jake.
I'm Hannah. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Life is Pain. I've made very similar jokes at the beginning. I gotta get new material.
If Dave doesn't have to, you don't. When we switch books, we'll get new material. So
Good segue.
this is Dave Rubin's book. And this is the chapter that what do you say, like have a role model or some shit? I don't even know what it's called.
Find a mentor.
Find a mentor.
Chapter 9.
And then I said only like a third jokingly. I bet this entire chapter is about Jordan Peterson. Spoilers, I was right. He just I was going to say he just wants to suckle Jordan Peterson, but I don't want it to sound like a gay joke because it's not one. So there's a difference between romantic partner suckling, which is valid and fine, and then whatever the fuck this is. This is not fine. I don't like it. It's not a good suckle. It's a bad suckle.
This is a good time to bring up what we just ordered as well. I don't want to wait till the end to bring it up, because maybe some people don't watch the end of the videos when we get to all the follow and like and Patreon and all that stuff.
Sure.
Hey, you know what we just ordered? Fam. Can I call you fam?
Please do not.
We ordered
such things.
A brand new book. My copy will be here tomorrow.
I think mine as well, or maybe the day after.
It's Jordan Peterson's new book, the sequel to 12 Rules for Life. It's out. I've ordered it. It'll be in my hands tomorrow. I will begin reading it and hate my life.
Yeah.
But that's what we do to bring you the latest in awful right-wing whatever it is.
Literature? I don't know. The Jordan Peterson ones are longer, though, because he writes chapters that are more than a page.
Verbose. That man is verbose.
He does like to do a talk. So, not unlike myself, this is all about Dave Rubin loving Jordan Peterson, which is fine. I don't care who your friends are, but unsurprisingly, he manages to get his friendship wrong. Weird. So it begins with Dave Rubin very humbly saying, by January 2018, my successes and failures has added up to be a net positive. I was finally doing work I was truly proud of. He talks about, being super popular. He does this weird thing that Ray Comfort does, and that I think old people do when they don't understand how the internet works. They go I've got fans in the United States and Canada, India, Pakistan, Sweden, Norway, all over the world. It's yeah, me too, and so does everybody else that has any modicum of a following. That's how the internet works. It's open. It's pretty cool that way. It is neat. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a thing. And then he goes on to explain in a parenthetical what a Twitter DM is. It's a direct message. That made it past the copy editors.
I don't know. Maybe they thought it was a dungeon master. It's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, Twitter DM. So the beginning of this is basically he gets a lot of really good mail. I really wonder what could compel you to write a letter to Dave Rubin and thank him for something.
Dave Rubin.
You know what I mean?
I someone posted something along the lines of, Dave Rubin, thank you. I am a man who loves men, but I also hate people who are slightly different than me. So Thanks for letting me do that. I don't know.
Yeah. We also get, I'm assuming this happens to you as well, DMs where people go, hey, thanks for whatever it is. Could be, hey, thanks for talking about religion because it helped me not be religious. Or, hey, thanks for talking about stuff that has to do with sexuality or gender. Help me feel better about that. Or help me understand it. Yeah, all the time. I literally get them every day. Whether it's private or just through regular interactions. It's yeah, that's dope. Cool. And I appreciate that from my audience, and I'm glad Dave appreciates that from his audience, but he seems to be under the illusion that it's a particularly weird thing, like a unique situation that he has to write down in a book. It almost goes without saying, right? I feel like the only person that doesn't get fan mail is the quartering. No one even likes him.
The quartering definitely gets fan
You
mail.
think he gets fan mail? Hey, thanks, bro. For I hate women. I don't know.
I used to have to find other things to do, but now every day I get to hate Brie Larson more than the last. Thanks for your 6th video this week on how Gina Carano is fighting for our rights.
Dude, Gina Carano can't even fight for a good script to read. I don't know. She's been relegated to fucking Ben Shapiro. Anyway, he's got a P.O. box that overflows with letters and packages. We do too, in fact. You could send stuff to the P.O. box.
We should probably go check that again.
We should probably do something.
Someone sent me, someone won one of those Snortlings Hollows dollhouse things, and they sent one to me. So I think it's in the P.O. box.
I think the same person probably sent me the photo. This was the one person that was a fucking patron of theirs. Anyway, so unless you want to do anything, I think we could just get right to the brass tacks here.
Yeah, let's go to the Jordan Peterson stuff.
He introduces Jordan Peterson in this way. Basically, a lot of people are really excited about talking to Dave Rubin. They call him Brave, which Dave Rubin graciously enters into his own book several times, calling himself brave at the behest of other people. And he says, bravery was in shortage. I was becoming a brave person proxy for people who felt they had too much to lose. But if I thought I was affecting things, boy, was I in for a big surprise. A 6'3" Canadian psychologist was about to show me how it's really done. That's Jordan Peterson, by the way. Not Wayne Gretzky. Thought it could have been Wayne Gretzky, but it wasn't.
I find the putting of Jordan Peterson up on a pedestal to be so funny, especially because
he's already 6'3". He doesn't need it.
Especially based on something that happens. I don't even remember. I don't know if it's in this chapter or the next chapter, but he says something along the lines of like, you don't want to be a dumb person's idea of a smart person, do you? And that defines Jordan Peterson so much outside of certain like psychology things. Jordan Peterson has like a PhD in psychology. I'm sure he knows psychology in his field, in his specialty. But when he talks about like literally anything else, he's a dumb person's idea of a smart person.
Well, he's got big words.
He thinks snakes having sex in a piece of ancient art is an allusion to DNA, which we didn't figure out until like the last previous century.
Yeah.
It's just wild to me that someone could look at Jordan Peterson and honestly listen to his things, read his book, listen to his lectures, and not realize, it's a lot of style and not a lot of substance.
True. So Jordan Peterson goes to the Rubin Report along with Ben Shapiro at the same time. It was a special episode, and apparently it was the first time any of them have met each other, which is interesting. And out of sheer luck, Dave Rubin lands the gig of a lifetime. He goes after the talk and everything. Jordan was going to do a thing at the Orpheum Theater, which is apparently his first live stage show, which I didn't know. As Jordan was collecting his things, I casually quipped, "Hey, if you need someone to warm up the crowd with a few lobster jokes tonight, let me know." And then Jordan Peterson said yes. Like all he's had to like the only nutrients in his brain have been beef.
Beef is not a nutrient.
It seems to be the only nutrient, according to Jordan Peterson. Beef vitamin. It's just little pieces of steak.
You think if you opened up Jordan Peterson's head, medically, this is not a threat. Do you think it would just be ground beef?
Yeah, it'd be like cube steak.
Okay, you could do like the scene from Hannibal, but it would just be delicious instead of disgusting.
Well, wait, who's to say human brain isn't delicious? Why would Hannibal eat it otherwise? He is a gourmand, after all. You've seen The Kitchen.
That's true. Anyway, you get it. It's just interesting to me. Oh, if you don't know what we're referencing, by the way, Jordan Peterson. Do we need to explain who
I
Jordan
thought you were going to say, if you don't know who I'm referencing the scene where Ray Liotta gets his brain eaten by Anthony Hopkins. I was like...
do we need to explain who Jordan Peterson is?
Let's explain who Jordan Peterson is for a second.
It's possible people watch this series,
That makes
but not our
sense.
Jordan Peterson. If you haven't seen our Jordan Peterson series, go watch it. It's one of the best things we've ever done. Please go watch it.
It's true.
Jordan Peterson is a Canadian psychologist and author. He is a political activist and a right-wing pundit, basically.
And that was the nice stuff. Here's the more honest and less nice answer. He's a dumbass, and he thinks he's smart, and he's not. He's very stupid, but he likes to fancy himself a smart. But in fact, he is a dum-dum. He denigrates people that, for instance, have drug addictions, then gets addicted to drugs himself, has to be put into a medical coma in Russia, and now his brain moves at a sluggish pace. He eats an only beef diet because his daughter, Michaela, is grifting with an all-beef diet thing, like a MLM or some shit. He also doesn't think that trans people need to be referred to as their fucking names. Or their pronouns because it's oppression or some bullshit. He was the guy that started the Canadian Bill C-16. Basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Hysterics by the right wing. He's a big reason that people say free speech and compelled speech when you talk to him about like just referring to people correctly.
He basically made the claim that C-16, which is a bill in Canada that added, sort of similar to the Equality Act in the United States that's going through the Senate right now, or going through Congress, that's adding trans people to like the Civil Rights Act. C-16 basically did that in Canada. It basically just added trans people to the list of protected classes.
Yeah.
And Jordan Peterson basically claimed, oh, if I misgender someone, I'm going to get put in prison. And that hasn't happened to anyone, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it protects trans people from being unduly harassed. As a subset of our population that gets harassed, that deserves protections from the government. And of course, Bill C-16 was specifically to protect Canadian people from the Canadian government. In this case, he was an employee of the University of Toronto, which makes him a government employee when he is on campus. And, he didn't like that at all. Anyway, so he got famous for this bullshit. He also wrote Maps of Meaning, which is a book for long-winded people that don't really want to read a good book. And then he wrote 12 Rules for Life, which we did on here, and you should watch because it's great. I mean, his book's not great. We did a great job. In fact, Matt Dillahunty called it the greatest review of his book on the internet. And that's his words, not mine, and I'm just going to accept the compliment, okay? I'm not saying whether or not he's right or wrong. I'm just saying he said it. And he debated Jordan Peterson on stage, and I believe crushed him. So
consider our horn tooted.
Toot toot. Anyway, moving on. As luck would have it, the tour managers from Creative Artists Agency saw my warm-up performance for Jordan Peterson's, which he said he crushed. I don't believe that Dave Rubin's capable of crushing a room for a stand-up. I don't believe it.
No,
and then he
CAA,
got.
Those who don't know, is one of the biggest talent agencies in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And he got represented by them.
Yeah. Yep. I'm not surprised. They hire a lot of people, or they represent a lot of people.
Yeah. So anyway, they go on tour and do the Jordan Peterson tour thing, Europe, America, Australia, and he calls Jordan Peterson the Michael Jordan of psychology. As a basketball fan, I take umbrage with this, and then Dave also says, and if that makes me Scottie Pippen, I'll take it. You're not the Scottie Pippen of psychology, Dave. Just because he's a psychologist doesn't mean you're also a psychologist. That's not apt at all. if he's the Michael Jordan of fucking psychology, you're, I don't know, one of the security guys that worked at the Bulls thing. Like you're the announcer. You're the announcer. You guys remember the Bulls from the 90s? And now your Chicago Bulls. It happens in Space Jam, which is a movie you've reviewed before, so you should probably be familiar with that scene. Anyway, that's just so stupid. That's so stupid to me. And he also says that Jordan's lectures are very informative. Have you seen have you sat through an entire Jordan Peterson lecture?
No.
It's tough.
Good portions of them, but
yeah, it's really tough to sit through. Well, they're all they're all clipped up on YouTube for the most part, but oh boy, not ideal. So he sat backstage for over like more than 100 shows, and he opines at this point that he's learned a lot from Jordan. He doesn't say what. I'm actually surprised he didn't say what specifically. He doesn't actually bring it up. He just sort of says like wisdom, like this. Yeah. And I guess the chapter after this is like, here's some stuff that I am applying and doing my own 12 rules for life thing. But what did you we read the entirety of Jordan Peterson's book, and that was why he went on tour. What do you think is something you could take away from the book positively?
If you make allusions to mythology while comparing them to
not the point of
potential like Jungian psychology, then you can get a book deal that you probably don't deserve and become a best-selling author of a terrible self-help book with underlying right-wing pushing ideas.
That's not the lesson you were supposed to take. You were supposed to stand up straight with your shoulders back and pet cats. Actually,
I got to talk about the petting a cat.
Clean your room, yeah.
Okay, so Dave Rubin, basically twins. Dave Rubin says like, well, I kept looking for some flaw in Jordan Peterson because he seemed too perfect and he seemed to apply all of his 12 rules to everyday life. And then they went to a dinner party.
Apparently the first cat they've seen the whole tour, by the way.
One of the 12 rules in Jordan's book, if you don't know, is pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. Now, at this dinner party, or whatever it happens to be, the host has a cat, and Dave Rubin is expectingly waiting for Jordan Peterson to pet this fucking cat. And he's like, well, if it's not on the street, maybe it doesn't count. And then, at the end of the evening, when Jordan Peterson's about to leave, he pets the cat.
For a whole minute. A whole minute, uninterrupted.
I'll just read this, okay? Yeah. As we put on our coats, Jordan picked his moment, as if he had been waiting all night to do it. He kneeled down and began stroking the cat, which was now laying in his bed. They were long, comforting strokes, over and over for a solid minute. He stood up, thanked Douglas again, and we headed out.
That sounds like
crisis averted. The 12 rules were still intact.
That sounded like a Chuck Tingle paragraph. That was lewd.
I almost find this weirder.
It's so weird.
If I go to someone's house and they have a cat and that cat is available to me, I'm gonna pet that cat. If I wait until the very end of the night to pet that cat as I'm leaving, it almost feels like I'm an alien and someone's talking in my ear. You are supposed to be a human. Humans pet cats. Pet the cat.
You're not Abby Shapiro. You don't have that same. That's her bag. Yeah, I don't know. It's just super weird how Dave talks about Jordan Peterson is like how like a teenager or a freshman in college talks about their very creepy and but suave like English professor that dates them.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like with an ascot, and he's like, yes, I know that you're 18, but I don't care about convention. Caution to the wind.
You're an old soul.
You're an old soul. Then he dumps you when you're a sophomore because you're too old now, Becky.
I liked when your soul was old, not the rest of it.
Not the rest of you. I like wrinkles on the inside. That sounds grosser than I intended it to be. So, anyway, he writes this entire thing basically to set up the rest of the chapter, which are his little snippets of I guess Dave wisdom. So this is just one of the many instances in which I saw Jordan put the 12 rules into action in his own life, keen to remember these moments of insight. This isn't he pet a cat. It's not a moment of insight. I would write them down on the back of my trusty notebook that I kept in my jacket pocket, dweeb, or enter them into notes on my app on my iPhone, something I could go back to whenever I needed them. So this means Dave Rubin has an actual like a notebook, and who would have a notebook but a dweeb? So he has a notebook, and he goes, yes. Jordan pet a cat at a dinner party. What's the secret wisdom in that? Yes, I can already feel my chuck tingling. I don't understand what do you get out of that, bro? What? Oh, yeah, Jordan Peterson had a steak and then ordered a second steak. Which, by the way, is Matt Dillahunty's experience with Jordan Peterson. The dude
ordered two steaks?
He ordered a steak. I also think no salt or pepper, no vegetables, no nothing, and then ordered a second steak. Because they had dinner before the debate.
How does he feel about, like,
I believe that was Matt that was talking about
on top of
that.
a steak? Like, can
no,
you
can't
A1?
do that. No. No, just meat. A1's not meat.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's awful. I think that was Matt that said that. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty confident it was Matt that said that. So weird. Very, very strange. Anyway, he ends that with like, oh, well, let me try to give you 12 rules for life. Did you want to say anything else about this chapter? He literally just worships Jordan Peterson.
I don't think so. I get it. I understand having someone that you respect and in some ways look up to. I get that Jordan Peterson's a bad person to make that in your life. Like, I think the results sort of speak for themselves, right?
Right.
The man who decided to do an only meat diet got addicted to substances, very unfortunately, partially due to the stuff going on with his wife at the time, which I have sympathy for.
Sure.
But, like, he's a huge hypocrite that mocked people and denigrated them for getting addicted to drugs, and then he did the same thing against doctors' wishes, flew to Russia, got put in a medically induced coma because again, the next chapter is stop being an expert on anything. But that's something that Jordan Peterson actually did to the extent that he ignored the advice of his expert doctors in North America and instead chose to do what he wanted to do, flew to Russia because they would put him in a coma there, which is what he wanted to do against the advice of his doctors, and it messed up his brain. So Jordan Peterson's a bad person, like, to be your mentor.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for these reasons.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't follow these things. But we'll talk about that more in the next episode.
Yeah, so I don't think I've ever looked up to somebody the way Dave looks up to Jordan Peterson, which is good for him. You know, you need a father figure in life, I think, according to the conservatives. And so good for Dave, you know? Maybe this will help.
Jake, will you be my father figure? My 6 years older than me father figure?
That's too much responsibility. I'll get high with you in my living room.
Right on.
All right.
I think that's better than a parent, honestly.
That's pretty close to better than a parent. So next time we're going to read Stop Being an Expert on Everything. It's pretty short. It's pretty simple to go through, but yeah, we'll do that next time. Dave is almost done, I think. I think the book is almost done. Looking forward to the end of that one.
And then we can start Jordan Peterson's magnum opus.
I don't even know what it's like on the inside. I don't even know. So yeah, What else is going on? I think we're going to be starting a stream soon. We should have the art for that on Monday, and we should be doing all of this kind of stuff live on Mondays moving forward, and then we'll cut it up into digestible pieces throughout the week. So if you want to hang out for the live streams on Mondays, they'd be around between 2 and 3 start time until we're just done with everything on Mondays on this channel, and that'll be a good time. And we'll drink gamer pee and wine out of our stemless glasses.
This is Coke Zero.
It looks like wine though. It looks like a fine wine.
Nope.
Is that a Pinot Gris? Some
aspartame and
Francis
various dyes,
Coppola.
carbonated.
Oh, okay. I have a.
Talking about the Francis Ford Coppola wine.
Yeah.
Did you watch? Oh God, why can't I remember his name now? He has the coconut.
He has a coconut. Tom Hanks.
No,
Castaway?
he's a YouTuber.
A YouTuber with a coconut. Wow. Now we're. Nope.
Hold on.
YouTuber with a coconut. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's like one of the best film YouTubers.
Adam?
Why can't I? No, hold on.
Whoa. Friend of the show. Adam.
You say that about literally everyone who's ever appeared on the show.
Friend of the show. We're mutuals. He's also been on my Twitch channel.
Okay.
Adam's a nice fella.
Patrick H. Willems.
I don't know who that is.
What? You gotta watch. He does really great essays on film. And he did a series where there's a service that did like wine pairings with classic films, and he did a whole video where over the course of like 2 days he drank like 30 bottles of wine and watched all the movies.
Oh no. That's too drunk.
He did not have a good time.
That's too drunk.
Maybe it was over a week. Either way, he was drinking like 3 bottles of wine a day, and it was really bad.
Yeah. Don't do that.
He tried the Francis Ford Coppola wine while watching.
It's not very good.
Yeah.
I've had it. All right. Well, that's it. Go ahead and click the things. Go to the Patreon. Do that. Have some Twitter stuff. Anything else? I think we're good. Come on back. Next time you hear.
Go to the description for our other shit.
Boo-boo. Boo-boo. First rule on my 12 rules for life is end the video.
Finger guns?
No, end the video. Because that's what I got to do next.